welcome to another episode of The Influential Nonprofit. I am your host. My name is Maryanne Dersch, and I work with nonprofit leaders to master the art of influence so they can raise more money without feeling rejected, ineffective, or pushy. Don't want to feel any of those things. Basically, if you want to get more effective at what you do, I'm here to help you do it. Today, I'm going to talk about something that I think is really, really relevant right now. And that is the monkey mind and how we can tame, quote unquote, our monkey mind. And the reason I think this is important right now is for three reasons. The first reason is it's holiday season, right? I November 1st to the first week of January, it's like a sprint. And it feels like it comes faster every year. Also, this year, things are kind of open back up. And many of us, for the first time since 2019, may be having that hectic social schedule, that hectic holiday schedule. The events that we had to cancel are back. The parties that people throw are back. And that can stir up some anxiety because maybe we kind of forgot what we had to get used to slowing down. Now we kind of have to get used to speeding up. Also, number three, fourth quarter nonprofits. I know most of your donations are coming out for fourth quarter, and it is so key to having a successful year. That can cause anxiety. And when something's new, stressful, different, that's when our monkey mind jumps up. Our monkey mind is the part of our brain that has those negative thoughts that kind of roll through our head all the time. And anytime there's something new, something different, something unexpected, it tends to stir up the monkey mind. And it kind of goes into overdrive. And especially this time of year. So I'm going to share with you about the monkey mind. Now, I want to share with you that I have a course called Up-Level Your Influence, right? I work with nonprofit leaders to grow their leadership and communication skills so they can raise money more easily and really just do anything you want more easily. Course is amazing, of course. And after the course, if you're like, this is really cool, then you can come on to a year-long program. That's called the Power Circle. I have 7 people in this Power Circle. They are amazing. These are people who are communicating and leading at a very high level because they are consciously practicing the art of influence, communication, and leadership. So we had our monthly masterclass this month, and it was about the monkey mind. And it was so profound and so juicy that I'm like, I have to share this with you. Some of the principles that I taught them in this masterclass, I want to share with you because, again, I feel like this is just the perfect time to really understand how your brain works and how you can use it to benefit you instead of thwart you. Now, here's the thing. If you have racing thoughts in your brain, congratulations, you are a typical human being. Your brain is designed to think. So if it's not thinking, you're in trouble. So we can't change the monkey mind. We can't subvert the monkey mind. All we can do, not all we can do. What we can do is to change the thoughts. And instead of having these pre-programmed default thoughts that somewhere along the way we believed to be true and have decided that they are true, that we can consciously choose thoughts and reprogram our brain with those thoughts. And you can do this. And I'm going to talk a little bit about how the monkey mind shows up. And then I'm going to talk a little bit more about what we can do to shift our thinking. So how does the monkey mind show up? Big thing in nonprofits, scarcity thoughts. If you're having a scarcity thought right now, like, where is this money going to come from? How am I going to find it? How much will they give me? Please let that annual appeal be successful, blah, blah, blah. Right. Those are scarcity thoughts. I mean, they can get really stirred up this time of year. Let me back up 1 second. There's one thing I want to say is one of the reasons why the monkey mind is so powerful is because there's 2 things our brain wants: certainty and control. And those are 2 things that our brain, we can never have. They're not real. there's no control, there's no certainty, but we crave those things. So when we don't get those things, the monkey mind starts to stir up. So for instance, our year-end appeal, it's stirring up thoughts of scarcity because we want to control. We want to have certainty that that goal is going to be, we want to have control over who gives and how much. Two things you can never have: certainty and control, but our brain wants them. So it's always looking for reasons, right, to get worried that there's no certainty or control. So a lot of what it is to retrain the monkey mind or retame the monkey mind is to relax into the present and release the need for certainty and control. You never had it anyway. So whatever. And that's kind of what happens. Oh my God, I'll never have enough time for this. Oh my God, that person, I can't believe that person looked at me like that way. Oh my God, why is my imposter syndrome raging again? I'm trying to meet with this donor. I can't believe that my imposter syndrome would do this to me again. I don't know why I'm not more confident, and blah, 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 spiral. And now you're like, woo, it's like gonna free fall. Being able to shift your monkey mind into more deliberate, conscious thoughts is like going from you're down a river in the rapids, holding onto your raft, getting pushed, from rock to rock, to being like a reed in the water where you're rooted deeply, but you can kind of move with the flow, but you feel safe, you feel supported, you feel grounded, you feel confident. And that's the difference, because here's what I know to be true. Our thoughts shape our words shape our reality. Now, I'm a words person. I love words. I've spent my whole career helping words. That little book you see over my shoulder, that's all about that. So what I learned, though, is that if our thoughts and our words aren't aligned, there's a separation, right? That's misalignment. And people can sense that. So I can't just say something. I have to actually believe it and embody it. So my thoughts shape my words shape my reality. What I was working on before was words to reality. Now it's thoughts, words, reality. And so we're going to look at how we can retrain our thoughts so that we can create better words in our mind and to other people to create a better reality. Conscious leadership means I know if I'm putting out scarcity and fear, I'm getting back scarcity and fear. If I'm putting out calm, confidence, abundance, that's what I'm going to get back. What you want is you want to put out your scarcity fear so that somebody else will alleviate it. But actually, that's not what happens. They just buy into it. And now you're creating a circle. So remember, like attracts like, right? What you put out is what you pull in. So we're going to consciously put out what we want to get back. And that starts with our thinking. So let's go back to the monkey mind, though, how it shows up. I said scarcity. Big thing right now is scarcity mindset. There's never enough time. There's never enough money. I don't know how I'm going to get this done, blah, blah, blah. Other ways the monkey mind shows up is bargaining. If I do this, then that'll happen. If my board member would just do this, then I would feel better. Looking outside ourselves for those external indicators to change our internal thoughts. And it can do that for a little bit, but it doesn't do that forever. We make excuses. I would have got to that project, but the email system went down. Well, like we start making excuses, but it's really our monkey mind that's stirring up some thoughts in us. Comparison. Everybody else has it together. What's wrong with me? Taking things really personally. I can't believe that person said that. How could they do that to me? Everyone's looking at me, right? And that's when that's your monkey mind going. Deflection. I'm really good at deflection. I am I call it comic relief. But what it is like, if the energy, like we get entrenched into a certain energy, we kind of settle into this as an energy that we can kind of tolerate. And if it gets higher than that, then our monkey mind starts spinning like, this is not good. This is not fun. I do not like this. I want out of this. And you'll do or say something to break the tension. And I will make a joke. And in my family, I am the comic relief. And that is what I do. If we're having a difficult conversation, I am the one who's going to make the joke. Now, that's fine. Here's the thing. Whatever your monkey mind says is totally cool, because it's just pre-programmed like gibberish. It's not true. It's just something that from somewhere along the way, a belief was formed and it was entrenched in us as the truth. And so if we can look at our monkey mind, not from judgment, like, why is this happening to me? Why can't I do this? Why am I still like this? To observation and neutrality. Isn't that interesting? When tensions get high, I will make a joke. Okay, that's interesting because it's above an energy level that I'm comfortable with. Okay, so how can I shift my thinking? How now that I'm aware of it, I can shift my thinking and I can be conscious of what I do. There's a lot of things that we do, you and I, all of us, that are sort of auto conscious programming. We're not really sure why we say what we say, or why we get mad at certain things, or why when, a coworker does something, it just pisses us off. And we put a lot of maybe meaning into that feeling, into that trigger. It's like, maybe it's just this pre-programmed garbage. And if it got programmed once, we can reprogram it. And by the way, if you want a really good resource for this, if you are jamming on this content right now, my first foray into this was Dr. Joe Dispenza, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. The techniques that I'm going to go into today, he really goes deep into them. And it was really powerful for me. There's some really powerful meditations too, to really help you reframe your thinking. I had no idea how many dark and thoughts I had until I started to really pay attention to them. And I had a friend, I remember talking with a friend and hearing her, and I heard her so differently than I had in the past because I could hear my old thoughts back to me. And I realized how much I had retrained my brain, and also how much I had, how much negativity was in my mind, and I didn't even know it. And I'm like, I am like, if you would look at me, I am a positive, accomplished person. You know what I'm saying? But people, like even positive, accomplished people, have a monkey mind. It's just how our brain is programmed. And we can't fight the biology. We can only work with it. And our brains were trained to sense fear, and our brains were trained to protect us from danger. So before, the danger would be, excuse me, the bear coming at you. And now the danger is somebody getting in an argument in a meeting that you're in. But it feels the same way in our body. And our mind does the same thing in response to it. So how can you, now that you understand what the monkey mind is, you don't need to judge it. Everybody has it. We're just going to look at it with neutrality and observation. Isn't that interesting? What can you do? Okay. Well, first, what I just said, understand how the brain works. So we don't have to worry about, why do I think this way? Why? Don't worry about that. That's not right. Let's just think about the awareness of it, being conscious of when it's happening. That would be such a great first step for you. Second thing is pattern interrupt. Interrupt the thought. How can I interrupt the thought? Now, Joe Dispenza does change. So if you're like having like monkey mind negative thoughts, you go change, and then change, and then you deliberately pick another thought that's going to serve you better. And that's just a pattern interrupt. You can do a mantra, you could do something physical, like tap here, you could, snap a rubber band, or something on your arm, switch it over, something like that. You could, but mostly you want to, whatever it is, you want to say it out loud if it's possible, right? So if I'm in the meeting with a bunch of people, I can't be like, change, but I can say change. Okay, what can I replace with? Or I'm okay. This is fine. I feel what's happening. Your mantra could be grace and ease. Mantra could be trust and release and relax. Whatever it is, you feel that trust and relax, or trust and release, whatever it is, whatever the words that you want to use, just use the same thing every time, because we're training our brain. So whatever it is, pick it. And when you feel it happen, like, okay, I am feeling this is kind of getting tense and I don't know what to do. And I want to break the tension. My whole body wants to make a joke and I'm not going to. I am okay. I am safe. This is okay. These are feelings. They're not going to hurt me. They're not going to kill me. I am safe. Like, this is productive dialogue. This is, one of the things that I really work with people on is stepping into difficult conversations. I had to learn to do that myself, right? So, this is productive dialogue. This is important for us to be here. I am going to be okay. Instead of, oh, I'm uncomfortable, let me make a joke, making a joke and not even understanding or realizing why I'm doing it. So what's a better story I can tell? What's a better story I can tell? I have to work out today. Why don't I work out? Every day I say I'm going to and I don't, blah, blah, blah. Okay, what's a better story I can tell? What's a better story I can tell? I could choose to work out today. I want to be more connected to my body. I want to, feel better about, feel more energy in my body. I may choose to do that. I may not, and that's okay. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, I can put different thoughts in my head, and I can choose that. So for instance, let's say you're at a party, because we're all going to be at parties, and like somebody says something to you and it hits really wrong. And you can be like, oh, okay, well, you know what? I hear him saying that's their perspective. That is their thing. I think I'm okay. I don't need to get involved. I understand this just hits me. I can move on. Because what we wind up doing is just reacting, because our monkey mind is kind of like back there, like stirring the pot. And then we're just in reactive mode. I have really, really worked hard over the last 3 or 4 years to retrain my brain to serve me better. And I can tell you for sure, my life is more joyful and more peaceful because of it. Not that I don't have arguments, not that I don't have bad times. How I manage those bad times is really different. I walked into a very stressful, very difficult situation, incredible tension from people with like it was a courtroom. Okay. Can't kind of say more than that, but it was a courtroom and it was very tense. And I said, okay, what's the story I can tell myself? Because my monkey mind was flying. Okay, deep breath, change, deep breath. What's the better story I can tell myself? I wish peace for everyone in this room. I want people to see this situation with the fullness of humanity. So I want to see everyone with their fullness of humanity. I'm going to set the intention that everyone here can get what they need out of this situation. I sat and I breathed and I chained my thought. This is all happening for me. This is happening for my benefit. I am here to, and I am here to help everyone in this room feel more at peace with what's happening. I sat for 10 minutes outside this courtroom, breathing and reprogramming my monkey mind so that when I walked into this room, I was able to navigate what was a really tense situation. And I know I'm like leaving out a bunch of details, but just trust me on this one. One day I'll tell you about it. It's not a story I have permission to tell. So I went into simply the most stressful, emotional, difficult meeting of my life. And I was able to carry myself consciously. I was able to navigate a lot of difficult opinions with grace because all of the tools that I have learned and practiced over the years kind of just dropped in for me. And this takes practice. That's why people take my course. That's why people stay in my program, because we're practicing this. So now I'm not afraid of situations like that anymore. Now I'm not afraid of rejection because I know how to train my brain. I've trained my brain to accept it. I've trained my brain to like not even care. It's like, what if everybody liked me? What if nobody likes me? What if it didn't matter? And my brain just didn't care because I've trained it. I've trained the monkey mind. All right. So 1, understand what's going on. 2, pattern interrupt. 3, replace thoughts with new ones, and then continue the conversation with those new thoughts. And then from there, that neutral observation again. Okay, now how is this going with these new thoughts? Here's the thing. You can do a pattern interrupt in a couple of different ways. Like you can do your mantra, you can do your change. You could, if it's possible, you could just give yourself something else to focus on. That's not always possible, like in a work situation where you're in a meeting. But if you can give yourself, hey, when this starts to happen, I go for a run, or I, run up and down stairs or something like, whatever, but distract you. So as long as there's whatever their pattern interrupt is and you use it consistently, you will find yourself retraining your brain. And I'm telling you, there is so much joy on the other side of this. Like I said, I didn't understand how many negative thoughts were in my head until I started to practice this. And also when I stopped deliberately practicing this, like meditation, conscious thought, then they'll start to come back. Right. Because, like there's a part of my brain that, yes, I definitely feel like it's hardwired for more. And also it's a practice, right? It's like an athlete. Yes, I'm training at a high level, and I keep in the practice, which is like why what I do is so important, because I'm really helping people shift their thinking for the long term over time. I just love doing these things with you because I feel like no one talks about this stuff, and yet it's so, so, so present. And, we want like a plan, or we want a script, or we want all these things to give us certainty and control. And that's really an illusion. What gives us, there's no certainty and control. And so what gives us that feeling of being safe, supported, and grounded is us. And once you can create that, and you can do that in any setting, right? So crazy stuff, pandemic, whatever, you're like, you understand how to navigate your brain, and you understand what's happening when the monkey mind gets stirred up, and you don't have to judge it. You don't have to resent it. You can just work with it. And that's the biggest thing, is we can't stop it. We're just going to work with it. I think that's it for me in this episode and talking about the monkey mind. One of the things that you could, here's one more thing, is there's feelings and there's facts. And I mentioned this last episode when I had you make an inventory about how awesome your life is. But there's feelings and there's facts. So you might have a feeling because your monkey mind has told you that there's not enough money. But if you look at the facts, the money shows up. Right. And so one of the ways that you can reprogram your brain is, what are the facts in this situation? What is the truth that I know for sure? And, so if you like, what are the facts in this situation? Like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to meet this annual goal, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's a feeling. But what are the facts? I've met it every year. In fact, I exceeded it. Yet my brain is still programmed to believe I can't do it again. That's because that's an implanted thought. And unless we consciously change that thought, no matter what you do, no matter how much success you achieve, that the imposter or the monkey mind is going to be there. And now you just kind of like neutralize it. Even if the thoughts come into my head, I'm like, yeah, those are just monkey mind thoughts. I don't really have to give them. They just flip to the background. Like I said, not that I don't have difficult times, not that I don't have times where I just lean into the monkey mind and let it spiral because I'm gonna just let it happen. I can let those feelings go. It's just my bounce back rate is so high, right? I get down and I get right back up again, authentically, not pushing it, not trying, but my response rate is really, really high, and allows me to teach other people how to do that too. There's a disappointment. Okay. I feel it. I move through it. Right. It doesn't have to define me. It doesn't have to own me. It doesn't have to live inside me. What other people think and feel doesn't have to live inside me. Like I can receive your opinion, but it doesn't have to like take up residence and live in my being. And that's the beauty of this work. All right. That is it for me in this episode of The Influential Nonprofit. I hope you enjoyed your monkey mind. I would love to hear if you were able to move through a situation more effectively or more easily because of this work. I would love to hear from you. Maryanne at courageouscommunication.com. If you're interested in learning about what it's like to work with me and what it is like to take my Uplevel Your Influence course, I'm starting one in February. I'm actively enrolling people now. I have 5, probably 6 people who right now, and I hope to probably have 10. So I'm closing that up pretty soon, I think. And, you know, and what it's like to really step into a higher level of conscious leadership and have confidence, have the calm being, have feeling supported and grounded no matter what scenario you're in. That's what I do. And so if you're interested, shoot me an email, Maryanne@courageouscommunication.com. We could possibly set up a time to talk and see if I can help you. All roads lead to a meaningful conversation. So that's it for this episode of The Influential Nonprofit. I will see you next time. Have a great week.